Alrighty, YouTube, this is JD again, and this is my project that I have for you today. Okay, it's just a simple garden tote, but I use a couple things on it that I wanted to give a try. One is the way that I did the artwork on the sides of this box. Steve Ramsey did it using stencils, a Dremel tool, and some simple acrylic paint. So be sure to look for that. Also, color washing, sort of a technique of staining wood with paint. It's real simple, leaves a nice kind of washed out color stained look to the wood. It's real easy. You won't believe how easy it is. Be sure to stay tuned and I'll show you how I did that. Okay, so save you the boring part. These are the 5 pieces. 1, 2. These are the sides, and then that's the bottom. And these are the 2 end pieces. There's the hole. That's where the handle will go through. And what you see here are the stencils for the pattern that I will be painting. These are just cheap little bubble stencils, I think from Walmart or one of the craft stores. You can pick whatever stencils you like, or you can even do this on a CNC machine or X-Carve, any one of those carving machines, or if you're handy with a router. You see this one right here. I had carved this one out here already, and I'll show you what I was doing. Let's move these things out of the way here. Okay, just been using my Dremel and move one of these cone bits on here. I think it's rubber. I'm not really sure. I've been using that and just sort of going along the lines that I drew through the stencils, and as you can see there's a little bit of random patterns. You don't really have to worry about how you're doing this. So once you put the paint in, once you paint it, you're going to cover it in paint. I'll show you that in a little bit. And then you're going to go overhead and sand it, take away any of the high points of the paint, and leave you with a little bit of texture. You want to see the texture, so when you're carving that out, don't carve everything down all the way. Leave some high points in there. You can see right there. Sort of give it a little bit, like these are the leaves, so I give them a little bit of lines, petals, just kind of little random patterns. I have no idea what I'm doing. We'll see how this looks whenever I'm done. But play with it, just so you know, see what kind of patterns you can make. Try to remember what they look like. Whenever you are finished painting and you sand it down, you can see what patterns work better for you. And go from there. You look right in there. One thing I will say is whenever you are doing this, just make sure that you get a good outline around all your shapes. You want to make sure that it's a little bit recessed. That's the one thing you do want to make sure you do. That way the paint has a place to settle. At least it'll stay within there, and then it'll settle into your individual sort of grooves that you make while you're etching in there. Not sure if you can see the pattern there. It's just kind of random. This is pine, and sort of whenever I get into the grain, you can see the grain raises up there in a little bit spots, so it makes it a little bit difficult. Just go slow, take your time, and have fun doing it. I mean, that's what we're doing this for, is to have fun and find different ways to express ourselves and our ideas through craft. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. It'll be a blink of an eye for you, a couple hours for me, and then we'll move on to painting. Alright, so here we go. I'm starting to paint. These are the two sides done. As you can see, I'm very liberal with the paint, covering all the areas that are that color. And like I said before, it's all going to be sanded, so you don't have to worry about staying in the lines. Any of the high spots, the paint will be sanded off smooth with the rest of the surface. The paint that's going to stay is this paint that's in the grooves that you made, either with a Dremel or carving, however you did it. That paint's going to be down in the surface of the wood, like underneath, not on the surface, sorry, underneath. Whenever you sand it, those accents will be your color. And this is just the colors that I chose. It's a lot brighter in person. Okay, so I'm finished painting. As you can see, there are the two ends. That's my painting mixing station there. I just use wax paper because here in the shop I have a lot of it. I use it a lot. And then while I was using the Dremel on this, I'm not sure if you noticed. Not sure if you noticed it, but I use this foam mat, same stuff that I use for whenever I'm sanding. I'll go ahead and sand this, and then that'll be the last step before final assembly, and then final finishing of it. Okay. I really like this paint. It seems to dry very fast, which allowed me to move to the different stages. One thing, don't be afraid to mix different colors, smear them in, kind of get the highlights, like a reflection, like you would if the other one was real. If it was a real bug, you would be seeing reflections on it, or a flower. It might work, it might not. It was worth a shot. But this paint here, I want to say I got it at Walmart. Maybe 2 of them for $1, I think. It was cheap. Acrylic paint. Alright, so here's the completed project. The garden toolbox, or tool tote. Okay, I'm just going to go over, show you all around it. The completed work. Then we'll talk a little bit about it. Okay, so as you can see, there's a color washing here on the base and also on the handle. I wanted to give it a little bit of color contrast between the wood of the box itself and the top and the bottom. I think it helps pull it together with the colors in the artwork. And then, as you saw earlier, I had dremeled out these stencils. Still a little bit of a lip in there. And then we painted over it. Then whenever I sanded it, took all the high spots, all the paint on the surface, and then some of the paint on the inside. You'll see that's where I mixed some of the colors together. And some of these stencils I like. Some of them were a little bit stick figure-y, but I think they all came together in the end. It's definitely a cool thing to try, this method of painting and then sanding it off. I'll definitely use it again in the future. There's my helper again. Okay. And then this color washing, that's definitely something I will do again as well. I really liked how that turned out. Once everything was sanded and assembled, I applied, I think it was 4 coats of spray lacquer, sanding in between coats. I was really happy with how that one came out. It was Krylon's semi-gloss, I believe. And as far as the assembly, it wasn't anything special. I glued the two sides to this, and then onto the bottom panel there. Let's see, I used old rusted nails that I'd gotten from pallets whenever I'd taken them apart. Same with up top. This is to hold the handle in place, to sort of keep it from coming out. And then the base was glued on. Then once that glue had dried, I just put 4 screws in to sort of reinforce that, to keep it from coming apart when you lift up on it. There's not going to be a whole lot stored in it, mainly just the garden tools, maybe some seeds and fertilizer or something like that. I don't know, whatever she wants to put in. It's for my wife, so. And she had already gotten this yesterday. She really liked it. I'm really happy with how it turned out. But the important thing is that she liked it, so that means that I like the project. I'll definitely be doing more of the Dremel tooling, and then also the color washing as well. And I'll do a more in-depth video on how to do that. So be sure to look forward to that. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button to see more of my videos. Also hit like if you like this, if you like any of the techniques that I use. Leave a comment if you want to see anything else. If there's anything that you'd like to see that you've been thinking about trying, I would love to give it a shot. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.